Hey, what's up, everybody? Okay, I know it has been a minute before I do a story time. Y'all know that with my new career change and everything like that, I've been a little busy, but here we go. So this story wasn't a request or anything like that. I literally just told my sister today, Stephanie, I haven't made a story time in forever. Like, I don't even know what story to do, and she told me about this one. I don't know what to call this story. This is just more like I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. This was like a really bad experience. The first time I ever went to New York. So this was back in 2012. I had this job and I had been there for a really, really long time, and I had gotten really close to my coworkers, and there was a new girl at my job. So her and I got close immediately, but I will not lie, and I remember telling my sister this, and I also told a couple of my coworkers this. Always said, yo, she's really cool. I love hanging out with her. She's awesome, but there's just something odd about her, but I can't put my finger on it. But be that as it may, you don't want to just judge somebody right off the bat, because of their flaws or whatever. So like I said, she was a very sweet person. She was an amazing friend at the time. Random, like one weird thing about her was like for whatever reason, she had a church background, like a Pentecostal background, but she was always talking about Illuminati. What's funny and crazy is that because she had a church background, she knew a lot of my church friends. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. But she was always talking about Illuminati. If you don't know what Illuminati is, please don't snap me. I don't want to read 87 questions, try to answer what Illuminati is. Just Google it. It'll give you a perfect description of what it is. But that's besides the point. But that was just like a random fact that she was always talking about that. But like people took liking to her because she had a very sad background. Like her parents had passed away and her brother too. At that point, she didn't really have a lot of family or anything like that. She had like one brother and he was still in New York, and she was in Florida all by herself. I remember on Thanksgiving going up to her and like, yo, so what are you going to do for Thanksgiving? And she's like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to, get some pizza and Netflix. So, she's my coworker. We hang out all the time. She was always at my house. And for her to have a lonely Thanksgiving like that, while I'm going to be with my whole family, I felt horrible. No, that's not going to happen. So I called my mom that night and I asked my mom, like, Mommy, can she come over, this and this and that? And she did. She spent Thanksgiving with me and my family. Anyways, the reason I'm going into so much detail with this is because I wanted you guys to see that we were actually really good friends. But like I said, there was always something odd about her. Okay, so moving forward, so New Year's comes, all the holidays, all that good stuff. And then, my birthday's in March and so was hers. So being that we were both March babies and she's from New York, honestly don't remember how we even got into the topic, but while we were talking about vacation and stuff like that and our birthdays, she was like, hey, why not for our birthdays we both go to New York? Like thinking like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. And she's like, yo, I'm from New York. I know everything about New York. I will show you around. I will do this. I will do that. Yo, let's go to New York. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, wait a minute. Where are we going to stay? And she's like, yo, my brother lives in New York. So let's just stay with him. So that way we save money on a hotel. And I was like, yo, this is sounding better and better. And I'm like, yo, so what are we going to do about a car? And she's like, girl, it's New York. You don't need to drive. And I'm like, no. I don't ever travel anywhere without a car. She really insisted, like, no, you don't need a car. I know how to do the subways. I know how to do this. I know how to do the. And I'm just like, no, I need a car. I really. This is all happening like the last week of January. Like we're planning this March trip like the last week of January. So we're really doing everything in advance. And she was freaking awesome because I hadn't traveled at the time. It was 2012. It was like my first time actually leaving Florida in a long time. So like all the stuff that I know now about traveling, I pretty much learned that job because that was a very good, well-paying job. And a lot of people there always traveled for their vacations. Seriously, she did everything. She was like, yo, let me go on JetBlue. That's my favorite airline. She made the call. She booked that whole trip. She booked the rental car, everything. All I had to do was give that girl my debit card. Everything was set. Everything was going awesome. I was like, oh my God. But something happened at work where I finally figured out who she really was. Like so dumb how people get figured out, I swear. So I found this piano on Craigslist and it was a really good deal and I was taking piano lessons at the time, so I really, really wanted it. So I asked my coworker because he drives a big SUV. I was like, hey, listen, can we go in your car because I need to pick up this piano? And she offered to come with us. Story short, it was a longer drive than we had anticipated. It was like a 2-hour drive, but I gave him gas money and all that good stuff. But when we got there, the person that was supposed to help us put the piano in the car was like really, really drunk. So it was him and me alone because she had some back problem and she couldn't help us put that heavy piano in his car. You guys are like, okay, where's the story going? Okay, well, when I was putting the piano with him in the car, the piano hits his taillight and it breaks it. I felt awful. I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, I will pay for the taillight. I will fix that for you. And he's like, nena, no te preocupes. I was like, no. I'm going to fix this for you. I promise. So that big old struggle or whatever, we finally get the piano into the car. He comes to my house and drops it off at my house. And I go to work the next day and I'm telling him about the taillight. I don't know about tail lights. I don't know about stuff like that. So I just told him, I was like, listen, search for it online, find it on eBay, wherever you find it. Let me know and I'll just give you my debit card. So that was it. I did my part. I told you twice, I'm going to pay for that. Just search for it. When you find it, I will take care of it because I know I broke it. So, time passes by. He never searches. He never tells me. And I'm like, when am I going to pay for this guy's tail light? Because he never tells me anything. Anyways, interesting fact, the guy that helped me with the piano and her that she was there, he was going through a divorce, so they actually were roommates. You guys, I'm not lying. Like, we were actually really close at that job. Like, I was at that job for like 3 or 4 years. Like, we all got that close that they were living together. So my New York friend, let's call her Susie. So Susie one day tells me something and she was like, yo, you know what? The guy, the piano guy, what he told me, talking about something yesterday, because remember they were roommates, and she's like, oh, we were talking about something yesterday. He tells me, yo, tú sabes que the Abby still hasn't paid my tail line. It's been like a month. I was really embarrassed because I'm not like that. If I break something of yours or I mess up something, I will fix it quick. But I was just waiting on him to search for it and then just tell me how much it was. She's like, yeah, girl, no. And he complained about that you haven't searched for it, that you haven't really tried, and that you're just irresponsible. Like, it's been a month and you haven't paid him for it. Mind you, her and I got really close. I mean, this is a girl that that at Thanksgiving was in my house. So of course I'm gonna believe her. I'm gonna believe everything she tells me. She told me stuff like that all the time that coworkers would say about me, like, yo, this coworker said this about you, this girl said this, so you might want to be careful. That she was always telling me stuff like that. It wasn't directly towards me, it was about somebody else. She was like, oh, what happened between these two, this and this happened, that and that happened. So she was always telling me stuff about coworkers. I don't know what it was that little by little I'm like, why does it feel like all these stories sound like lies to me? Mind you, when she told me the thing about the piano guy, I was mad at him because I was like, why didn't he just tell me that to my face? Like, why would you call me irresponsible? In life, when you are in doubt about something, instead of just being mad or whatever, you got to confront the situation. So I went and I spoke to the piano guy. I had worked with him much longer than her. So I was like, all right, let me ask him. And I was like, mira, come to the side. And he's like, ¿qué te pasa? When I got serious, he freaked out. He saw that I was serious. He was like, yo, ¿qué te pasa? And I was like, listen, I'm going to ask you something and I need you to be 100% honest with me, okay? His face, he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm going to answer. What's wrong? And I'm like, listen, I don't care what you said. I don't care. I just need you to be honest with me. It's like, okay, I'm like, I just need to confirm if this was really said or not. And I have my reasons why. So please don't lie to me. He's like, okay, what happened? I asked him, I was like, listen, did you tell Susie, quote unquote, everything she said about the tail light? He was like, "Can't?" His expression gave it away. I was like, bro, I know he's not lying because he looked so nervous and he really wanted to defend himself. He was like, that's not what I said. He really said was that I'm going to buy a new car so Abby doesn't even have to pay me the tail light, and he got a new car that following week. Before he got the car and he told me that he said that, he was like, contra. He's like, wait a minute. She told me a while back that you said this and this. Not what it was, but I remember at the time I was like, that's not what I said. What I said was this and this and this. And me and him started laughing because we kept putting puzzle pieces together. He confessed to me at one time that he was actually upset with me because of something that she told him that I said. And I was like, dude, I was upset with you because I thought the thing about the tail light was true. Me and him start laughing and we both apologized to each other and we hugged. And he's like, espérate. He's like, she said something about this coworker too. So us two went to that third coworker. Went to the third coworker and he was mad. He was like, yo, that's not what she told me. She told me that you said this and this and that. So she now has 3 people against each other at that job. There you go. That's what it was. That was her odd thing. She was just, I don't know how to say this in English. Ella estaba causando cizañas en el trabajo. He was just constantly putting people against each other. Like, oh, she said this, he said that. That's on some psycho stuff. That's not, don't ever have a friend like that. I finally figured her out and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have a talk with her. I went to talk to her and I hate confrontation with a passion. Of course, she's going to deny everything. And she's like, that's not true. That I'm like, Susie, I was like, there's no way that all these people are saying all these things and it not be true. Now, this is all happening around February, so now it's like, oh my God, March is around the corner and me and this girl are not friends right now. Cut ties like 100%. It was more like, listen, give me some time to think because you just put me in a situation where I didn't want to be in. It was just like, we obviously were not the same. We weren't having lunch together anymore. We weren't having, we weren't talking and having fun and joking around at work anymore. I'm like, should I cancel the trip? How do I even do that? Like, this is going to be so awkward now. So I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Remember that originally my sister Stephanie wanted to come with us, but I didn't invite Stephanie because I'm like, Stephanie, maybe it's going to be awkward for us three to be there. Let me just go with her first. I didn't care. I didn't care if I needed to get a hotel. I didn't care. I was like, no, Stephanie is coming with me. So I called and I made all the plans and I paid for Stephanie to come on a different flight. Funny because I told Stephanie everything that was happening and she's like, ah, yeah, Biggie. She's like, oh my God, yeah, take me with you because I already know how you are. Anyways, I told Susie, I was like, hey, listen, I actually paid for my sister and she's gonna go on a different flight. And she's like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. I guess we both were like, yeah, please bring somebody else. So finally, we get to New York. I know it took me like 10 minutes to get to the New York part, but I can't just jump into the New York story without explaining to you guys how we got there.